Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 6. Stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and this is my prediction show where I predict results and score lines of MLS games quite badly. I'm only joking, but I do a pretty good job. So if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. You can do whatever the hell you really want. Hit and like, share, all that, Twitter, YouTube kind of stuff. So, yep, last week I didn't too bad. It was a pretty weird week. There was a couple of good games, there was a couple of not so good games. So, like LA Galaxy beating Austin was not a bad game. The Cincinnati game, which was a pretty good game, they could have won it against Inter, but they scored, everything was great, and then they conceded. Then that was game over. Even though I tweeted once Cincinnati scored, I was tweeting going, yep, Cincinnati, Acosta for the winner, and then LA Galaxy scored the moment I pressed post. So that was a big excitement for me anyway. So I may as well carry on with my predictions to see which ones I'm going to get correct this week, because I get a lot of correct. So the first one is Montreal against FC Cincinnati. If anybody's from Cincinnati wants to send me a top, good boys, girls. The next, so Montreal against Cincinnati. Montreal probably coming into this game with a far better reputation of winning games than compared to last year. They only won 2 games, which is a game better than last season. They beat Inter, which was a good game, but then they got beat by Atlanta, which in Atlanta wasn't a bad result, so you can't really go with that one. So they're coming up against an FC Cincinnati team who are bottom, only playing 4 games granted this season. Last week there was a first game at home, and this game is going to be away again. So coming up against a Montreal team who are looking better. I can say better without Thierry Henry. They do look like they can score a lot more goals, so I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. I do think Cincinnati are capable of scoring, but I just don't think they're incapable of keeping it out, if that's the case. The next one, so 2-1. The next one is Portland Timbers against LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy, who are flying at the moment. They're second in the league, only lost 1 game, which is pretty impressive compared to last season when they were awful. They're coming against a Portland team who won their last game. Congratulations to them against the San Jose Earthquakes, which was a pretty good result, but they got beat at home then to Seattle and got beaten by Dallas quite convincingly. So Portland are a very hard team to predict this year. So they're coming up against a team who are actually flying at the moment. I do think there's going to be a lot of goals in this. I think LA Galaxy should win this one 3-2. Again, this is Portland at home, who you think with fans behind them, with more fans now in the stadium behind them, they should be getting more into the game and getting stuff. But I think LA Galaxy with Chicharito up front are starting to look like a proper team at the moment. So LA Galaxy back. The next one, Chicago Fire against Inter Miami. Chicago Fire, who are second from bottom, losing more games than Cincinnati, but are on 1 point as well. So saying that, they're coming up against, like, they got beat by DC United, so that's pretty bad. They're coming up against the Inter Miami team, who are doing okay. They won their last game, which was against Cincinnati, which was a very good game. Then they got beaten by Montreal, drew Atlanta, Nashville, and then beat Philadelphia, even though that was a weird game. And then it was a very good game at the start of the season against LA Galaxy. So, yep, they're coming up against a very good team, Chicago. This is going to be an interesting one. I think Chicago Fire at home are probably going to get a bit more up for this game, where I think Inter Miami are a bit more cocky, if that could be a word that I can use for that one. I think Inter can probably go into this game thinking they've already won the game, where Chicago Fire will probably score first, where Inter then will have to try break down a team probably more organised, and they would think that they can probably get past and will score a goal, but probably a penalty. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 1-1 draw on that one. Chicago Fire probably at home shouldn't win this one. They don't deserve really probably to win this one, but I think there will be an interesting 1-1 draw. The next one is Orlando against Toronto. Now, Toronto, who are third from bottom, see, there's a kind of a trend starting here already. They won their only 1 game, and that was against Columbus Crew. That was 2 weeks ago. But then they drew against New York City SC, which wasn't a particularly bad game to, lose or draw. That was against New York City in New York. And then they're coming up against who are Orlando team who haven't lost this season, which was quite surprising. Let me see where they are. Yep, they beat DC United last week, and then New York City, and then Cincinnati. They beat Cincinnati, so they're coming up against a very good team, Toronto. And I think Orlando are the better team coming into this one. I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win, just for the fact is Toronto haven't really hit the ground running yet at this season. They look like a good team, but they just need that goal score and that defense and their goalkeeper not to make mistakes. So basically a neat team. But Michael Bradley's playing better. Yep. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. 2-0 to Orlando. The next one is New York City against Columbus Crew. Or no, Columbus City. No, they changed it back to Crew. So I need to keep up with this thing. They've changed more times than enough. Yep, New York City at home against the Columbus Crew SC aren't having the best time of it. They've lost their last 2 games since actually when they came up with this idea of changing the badge and stuff. I wonder if there's anything with that. Probably not. Anyway, I was a big fan of Nagby. I think he's great, but for some reason I don't think they're playing great at this season. So I think they really need to get the best of him, get him in going in the games. At the moment, they're just not getting that at the moment. And they're coming up against a New York City team who can score. And they recently bought a Brazilian, but I don't think he'll start in time for this game. God knows this is MLS, they'll probably throw him in. So yeah, I'm going to think New York City should probably win this game. I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win to New York City. They're just a far better team in front of their own fans, in their own unique stadium where all things are weird. Yeah, I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win in that one. FC Dallas against Real Salt Lake. FC Dallas, every time I say they're going to win, they lose. Every time I go say they're going to draw, they win. So, if you're a betting person, I would probably do your own research on this one. Anyway, okay. Yeah, they're coming up against Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake are actually doing quite all right at the start of the season. Then they drew and then lost. So they lost, then they drew. So then they're coming up against a FC Dallas team. Where they only won the 1 game, and that was against Montreal, wasn't it? No, not Montreal. Come on, cursor, stop moving. Yeah, that was against Portland. They beat Portland quite easily. And then Minnesota, they got beat by Minnesota. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 1-1 draw in that one. I just don't see much happening in that game. Sorry, but yeah, that game's kind of going to be either 1-0 to one of them, obviously, or I'm going to go for like a 1-1 just to be. Because I can't really pair them because I haven't really seen too much of them play this season. Yep, the next one is New England Revolution against New York Red Bull. New England are 3rd, but they're first in the Eastern. So that's pretty impressive for a team who at the start of the season you didn't think they'll do that. Oh, they'll do well, but no, they wouldn't do as good as they're doing. So it probably seems like Galaxy. It's like the old teams are doing well again. Nostalgia. Lovely. They're coming against a New York Red Bull team who are very good at pressing at the moment, but they just don't have that striker. Hopefully their new striker from the Celtics in Glasgow probably will be coming in good, or Polish Paddy, and the Celtic fans used to call him. Me. Anyway, so yep, they're coming up against a good team. New York Revolution, I should win this 2-1. I do think New York Red Bulls will score a goal, but I think New England are just a far better all-rounder team at this moment. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Next one, Houston Dynamo against Vancouver. Vancouver, who are not doing all that. They started off very well, but they got beat by Sporting Kansas City and Minnesota away from home, and now they're away home again. They're coming up against a Houston team who won their last home game against Sporting Kansas City, which was a pretty good result. So I think this game could be a tight one. The 2 teams are probably well matched, so I'm going to go for like a 1-0 win to Houston, just for the fact that they are at home and Vancouver haven't got a really good away record. So yeah, I'll go for that one. Yep, 1-0. No, 1-0. 1-0. The next one is Sporting Kansas City against San Jose against Sporting Kansas City. San Jose, who are pretty impressive at this moment. They lost their last 2 games, which was quite unfortunate. At home against Seattle and Portland, which against Seattle you can see, but against Portland 2-0. Okay, they're coming up in their 3rd home game in a row, so you would expect them to get a good result in this one against the Sporting Kansas City team, who are, let's see where they are. Sporting Kansas City team are 4th, so they're actually above them, which is quite impressive. They haven't really done well in their away games, apart from the first game of the season that was against New York Red Bulls. So you can't really get too much into that, and that was quite a while ago. It was about a month ago. Excellent. Yep, they're coming up against a Sporting Kansas City, San Jose Earthquakes team. Jesus, Sean. Yep, so San Jose probably 3-2 on this. I think the two teams are very good at scoring this season, if that could be said. So I'm going to go for like a 3-2 win to Sporting Kansas City. San Jose Earthquakes. Jesus Christ. I'm just going to go into the next one. The next one is Los Angeles Football Club against Colorado Rapids. I can actually get that one quite right. Colorado Rapids are 5th in the league. How the hell did that happen? They haven't played many games this season, and they've won 3 of them, which is against Houston Dynamo, Minnesota, and away to Vancouver. And they got beat by Austin and drew with Dallas. So it is an interesting season for them, and they're coming up against a very good team who are not playing all that well. Where are they in the league? LAFC are 23rd. Wow, 23rd. They beat Austin, and they just crap for the rest of them. So, yep, they're coming up against a very good team in Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles is at home, should probably beat Colorado Rapids. I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Long as they have a full fit squad, they should easily win this win game. I'm not 100% sure who's going to start in these games, as you can tell, because I'm doing this on a Thursday night. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Just on paper, they're the far better team, but Sporting Kansas City are probably in the form. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Next one is Seattle against Atlanta. This one was probably... I think Atlanta are doing okay. I just don't think they're doing all that better than Seattle. So I'm going to go for like a 4-1 win. I just think Seattle are a far better team. Far better. They're more consistent. They're a far better team than Atlanta. Joseph Martinez isn't fully back fit yet. He will score goals, and I would predict him to score a goal on this one, but I think Seattle are just going to be too far ahead of this game, where he'll be taken off in the 30th minute, and they're just going to try and not concede a lot more. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 4-1 win in that one. So sorry, Atlanta fans. The next one, the second last one, is DC United against Philadelphia. Now, at the start of the season, with Philadelphia getting beat and DC United beating New York FC, you would have expected this one to be DC United are actually doing pretty well, but DC United are doing pretty badly at the moment. They just don't seem to be convincing in games at this moment, and they're coming up against a very good team who weren't very convincing at the start, are starting to get back into their stride. So I'm going to go for a Philadelphia win, 3-2. They're just a far better team than DC United, and they have the better strikers. And I don't know if Paul Arriola is back yet, but I think Philadelphia are just a far better of a team. The next game is Nashville against Austin FC. This game is going to be the last game of the week. It's going to be on very late at night. Will I get to watch it? Probably not. Again, this is one of these other games where I'm not going to be able to see. Nashville against Austin. Two teams. Nashville haven't really lost a game this season, which is pretty impressive, but they're not really scoring that much because they're drawing a lot. So coming up against a very good team in Austin, but who are now without Joseph Gallagher from last week. I don't know what the status is at the moment. So I'm going to go for like a 0-0 one. I just don't see this game going to be all that goal scoring, all that full flying, fully attacking. I just think these two teams are just probably going to be more around the midfield, and they're not really going to have that killer pass to get that killer goal. So plus the two of them, Nashville have a very good defense. So. And they can't really score. So yeah, I'm going to ask that is my prediction for that game, and that is my prediction for this week. Let me know what you think and hit those things below comments. What do you think the week is going to be like? I am now off to play football. Well, first I'm going to edit and then off to play football and probably play the next one. So I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. See you later. Bye.